What is up, loud and proud crowd? I hope you guys are doing absolutely fabulous. It is very warm here in Indiana right now. Just got the truck fired up, letting it warm up. So I wanted to kind of point out a few other things that I'm kind of stressing right now with the truck and trying to decide where I want to take it, and I'll try to explain that the best I can in just a moment. Okay, everybody, I know the lighting might be bad in the truck right now because of my extremely dark tint all around, but if you can't tell, I'm a little bit ticked off right now. This has to do with my truck and the way it was sold to me, and now I'm just realizing it, and it really sucks a lot. Basically, I bought this truck as, you know, obviously hard-earned cash. The thing was, I mean, I'll be honest, I was just antsy to buy a truck and buy a Cummins diesel, and I was looking around for several weeks, not seeing much. Almost got sold a POS from some other guy, and I was just looking at things. I was like, okay, this is not gonna happen. I came across this truck and thought, oh, perfect. This is one of the cleanest I found in terms of the body. So I thought, this is one of the cleanest that I found. The thing looks good. I went and I drove it. It drove, like, actually I didn't get to drive it. The guy drove it, but it started right up. Thing starts right up, fires off, good. No white smoke coming out the tailpipe, nothing. Like, it was just all good, all good. And I was like, okay, you know, like, that's cool. Thing runs fine, no big deal, you know, it's whatever. He was asking a reasonable price for what I was finding in the average prices that most guys were listing these things for in the same condition, so I thought, which was around between 8 and 10 grand depending on the truck. So I was like, okay, he wants 9.5, whatever, he'll come down. Apparently he did not want to come down at all. And so I went and looked at the truck. Mind you, it was in the dark, and looking this thing over, and from what I saw, all I saw was, okay, rocker panels, shot. Bumper, shot. Other than that, thing looked like, okay, it needs new paint, no big deal. Bumpers, no big deal. And other than that, it was dark. It was pretty dark out, and the guy had bed liner sprayed all over the frame. And at first I thought, okay, whatever, there's probably a little bit of rust under there, no big deal. The guy's just, you know, doing his thing. He coated the frame, trying to protect some rust, yada yada. You know, any further rust, no big deal. So that's what I thought it was. I thought, okay, he's got a little bit of surface rust. He just tried to cover it up with some bed liner just because, you know, whatever, just didn't want to show a bunch of rust on the truck. Long story short, I've been building the truck for a couple of months now, but now I'm getting to the point to where I've got new gauges, headlights, front bumper, rear bumper, new tow mirrors, new head unit, stereo system, new speakers in the doors. I've got new shocks, new strut towers, new shackles, new fuel tank straps. I mean, I've got a lot of money in this truck now, like wheels and tires. I mean, I've got a lot of money in this truck. You know, I knew there was a couple spots, you know, within a couple months or two of owning the truck. I saw a crack in the frame, real small, no big deal, whatever. I'll get some 1/4-inch steel, have somebody weld it around there, reinforce it. No biggie. It'll be fine for several years, you know, before anything major could potentially go wrong. So I thought, it's no problem, whatever. And then I found another spot on my truck where there's a cross member going over the fuel tank that looked to be pretty rusted. I was like, okay, that's not good, because, you know, it's a cross member though, no big deal. You know, like, we'll just get it fixed. It's just a cross member. It's not really a part of the frame. You can just get the thing taken out, weld it up, new something or another, and slap it in there. You're good. It'll be strong enough. It's not going to be an issue. Well, today, guys, I found something that chilled me to the bone. There is a gaping hole in my frame. I was looking around, and I was like, okay, you know, the truck, there's that one spot with a crack. This other cross member had a rusted hole through it, no big deal. Just a little crack, not a problem. I was peeling back some rust because I needed to take some pictures, because I was planning on taking the truck to a guy to have a bunch of stuff welded up. He does professional welding for a career. That's what he does. He fab stuff, weld stuff, great job. And so I was like, okay, this guy can take care of me. You know, it's probably gonna be the most reasonable thing I can do is just take it to a guy and have him fix it. You know, weld it, you know, fab some stuff up, weld it up onto the truck, good to go. And I found something that might be able to be fixed, but I'm not sure. So back to what I was saying, there's a little rust here on like where the upper and lower control arms, you know, mount up. There's some rust there. Nothing major here on this side of the frame, you know, no holes that aren't factory. Let's come around to this side and see if we can say the same thing. That right there terrifies me. And now the GoPro's not going to do a ton of justice, but guys, There's a hole there. That is not factory. There's some holes there poking through. There's a hole there poking through. And who freaking knows what's under the rest of this? But I can tell you right now, that is a 3.5 inch hole. I don't call this, you know, flexible crap here. I don't count that as steel. That's a hole to me. This whole area that's affected. That scares me so bad. And then there might be some guys out there that are like, oh dude, don't worry about that. It's no big deal. It's just a little rust. No, that's a freaking hole in the frame up here supporting the engine. I don't know about you guys. That makes me want to sell this truck. Now, what I would do, instead of just throwing some paint over it and trying to dump it onto somebody, I would at least do the more respectable thing and still take it to the guy, have this stuff all cleaned up the best that he can, weld some, you know, reinforce it with some kind of steel, 1/4 inch steel, reinforce it, cut out that crap, reinforce it. Same thing back there. Try to fix a cross member as much as you can, reinforce it with some 1/4 inch steel or something strong. Same with the crack in the frame. Sand down. If you got to do a little cutting, do a little cutting. Reinforce it with strong steel, just so the thing's not going to fall apart on you or give you a bunch of problems here. I'll be honest, I could probably drive the truck the next 5, 6, 7, shoot, 8 years, and this might not be a problem. With a coating over it and protect, and then coat it over with bed liner, might not be a problem. Might not expand anymore. Who knows? We're probably fine. But me personally, I can't sink any more money into this truck knowing that that is there. Now, like I said, there might be some guys out there that are like, oh, that's no big deal. Don't worry about it. Just, you know, get it fixed by the guy and hang on to it. You might not be bothered by this, but that right there, my friends, bothers me a lot. It's just so disappointing because you could tell it was 100% just trying to hide it, and that's probably the reason he sold the truck. All other excuses aside for having to sell it, that was probably one of the biggest reasons, was rust. Because this bed liner coating, at the time when I bought it, it didn't look like it had been on there very long at all, but it kind of looked like he had noticed. Obviously there was some rust, you know, problems happening, and basically he just thought there was some kind of like glue or silicone or whatever the heck it was, like, or JB Weld just like smeared over there. He just unloaded this thing on me because he didn't want to have to put up with the potential consequences for, you know, having the frame rusted like that. And seeing that there's holes poking through, you can see light coming through in several different spots all through here, that does not go well with me. Not for a second. And it's really frustrating because I've got a lot of money into this truck, and I'm talking a lot of money into this truck. Rust doesn't just go away on its own, and once you have rust on a frame, it is forever there. It doesn't matter what you do. Now, if you just have a little bit of surface dust and you sand it and you cure it, you're good. But when it's rust that's eroded through your frame, that better scare you a little bit, because it scares me. Well, there's my dad's glasses he's been looking for. I'll just tell him they're sitting in my truck. I haven't talked to my dad about it much yet. I kind of gave him a quick call, and I just said, hey Dad, you know, by the way, there's something that really stinking scares me that I just found on my truck. I don't know if I want to keep sinking money into this thing. I either want to find a different truck or a different build. Probably stick with Cummins, of course. That's the truck that most everybody, you know, found of interest on this channel. I'm like, I just don't know. Do I want to keep sinking money into this thing? Because I've already got money into this thing, and there's going to be some guys like, oh, well, at this point you've already sunk, you know, $5,000-6,000 into the thing on top of your 9.5K that you know dropped on it. You know, at this point, who cares? You know, just keep going. But in my sense, if I could sell the truck, and this would be the best option, and I haven't talked it over with my dad because, well, obviously he's at work, and I just found out about this not long ago. The only other thing that I can think of is he paid $5,000 for the red 12 valve. Needs new fuel lines, needs new brake lines. You know, other than that, no big deal. You got a solid freaking truck. The things that mostly need done to it are things that I still need to do to my truck, like paint, rocker repair. I haven't done any of that to my truck yet, so that truck just needs some of the same stuff in that sense. So I could either drop my money into this truck, which is going to put me in the hole more, or I sell my truck. Let's say I even get shoot, I don't even know. Let's say I get 10,000 out of my truck, because my truck, even with the rust, if I can take that and do the respectable thing and at least get it, try to fix the problem to where it's not going to give somebody else an issue for years and years to come, I would feel much better selling my truck fixed the best that I can for 10 to 11,000, given how much I've sunk into the thing. I still think there's somebody out there who would be willing to pay 10,000 for this truck, you know, even with that stuff fixed. And then the frame, I would still go through and I'd still coat the frame. I'd do the most respectable thing possible, get the rust fixed in terms of like those parts that were really bad, sand the frame, coat it, do a respectable job, and then try to sell the thing, which still means I still got some work ahead of me, but at this point I might as well do that. That would be the respectable thing to do, but I don't know if I could sink more money into in terms of paint, rockers, compound turbos, like so. I don't think I could do that with this truck and run it knowing that's there. My point that I was trying to get to, my dad paid $5,000 for the other truck. I don't know what he would want to sell it to me for, but if he would be willing to sell the red 12 valve, I would consider selling this truck for what I just told you and taking, you know, 50% of that or whatever my dad wants for that truck and buying that truck. Let's say I give my dad, just because, I don't know, just so he can have a couple $100 on it, give my dad $5,200 for that truck. He can get his money back, because like he bought that truck not like, oh, I just really need a 12, you know, another 12 up. He bought the truck because I came across it. I said, that's a freaking good deal. Are you interested in it? And then he looked at it and he was like, for $5,000, you bet I'm interested in the thing, because even if he sold it right now, he could get more than $5,000 out of it. All that aside, see if he'd be willing to sell me that truck, and basically with the extra $5,000 that I make off of this truck, take that money and go directly into that build and just go full out trying to get that truck built as much as I can. And then obviously in the meantime, with that money that I'm using that I'd make off this truck to build that one, I'll be recouping tons of money in the process to continue to sow into that truck. And that truck, that build would move pretty darn fast. And the reason for that is I would have the finances right there in my hand to get it done. And so the first thing I would do obviously is the frame needs done. All that good. I'm not even going to go through the whole list because you guys already know what needs done to that truck, but I could make it my own. And I think I would love that. Same engine and everything else as this truck, same configuration. Only difference is frame is freaking mint. The body, the mounting points to the body on the frame, freaking mint. No stinking holes anywhere. That frame is spick and span clean. Low stinking miles. I mean, bone stock. Like, you can't get any better than that. So that's where I'm at right now. It really freaking sucks. I would hate to see this truck go, because I'll be honest, that does suck, because I'm finally getting this truck to where I was just telling my dad, you know, before I found the rust, obviously, I was just telling my dad, I'm like, you know what, Dad, I finally got this truck. I'm getting it to about where I want it. I've got another $3,000 to go to, you know, $3,000 to go into in terms of paint, rockers, framework, and then I'm good. You know, I'm good. I'm happy with that truck. And good as in, like, there's still going to be steering components I want to do. There's still some suspension stuff I want to work on. There's still some front end stuff that needs done. Like, there's still stuff that needs done. But I'm saying, like, in terms of overall power and looks cosmetically, I would be pretty good with the truck. I'd be pretty happy with it. And so I just, man, it would suck to see this truck go. I really could not sink another $5,000-$6,000 into this truck, knowing that that's still eating away at it down there. Guys, I'm sorry this video kind of turned into that. I need to hear from you guys as to what you guys think I should do with the truck. Here's to sum it up, just so you guys can kind of know what kind of response I'm looking for. Do I, A, which would really bother me to do, keep the truck, given that there's a bunch of rust on the frame in those 2 or 3 spots, and just go with it and see, maybe it'll just hold up and be fine? Or do I not keep the truck? Instead of me keeping this truck, take it to the guy, get all this stuff sanded off, have him refab up a cross member, have him reinforce the frame where there's that crack, cut away at the junk, reinforce it with 1/4-inch steel, weld it on, have him, you know, I'll take off the lines down there and have him, you know, fix that, cut out whatever needs to be cut out, just junk stuff, polish it there, weld, reinforce that, buy the red 12 valve. Or if my dad's not willing to do that, which I think he would, because he's got 4 trucks. He doesn't really care to have 4 trucks. It's cool. And honestly, he would not be heartbroken if I said, can I buy the red 12 valve? He'd be like, sure, I'll take the money for the red 12 valve, and he'll recoup that, and then he could put it towards, you know, another truck, in terms of building the other trucks. But let me know. anyways, I'm willing to take the heat. I just need to have some help, some suggestions. What do I do? Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Sadly, that was the topic of the video. Really sucks. But hopefully you guys got something out of that, and you guys can kind of take a vote down there, fix the truck and sell it, buy the red 12 valve, or keep the truck and sink money into it. Let me know. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like. If you haven't joined the fam, subscribe. Lots of stuff coming up. Who knows what's going to happen next. I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Peace.
Doing what I love, going day to day, but I know it takes time and I'm patiently waiting. Sometimes I contemplate, cause one day you feel so close and the next is out of sight. But I know I gotta hold on tight to go back to just going out every night. Like if I'm about to let it go now, I can live alright, live a normal life, doing 9 to 5. But I know I'm more than that. I gained this skill, wasn't born with that. At the end of the life, it's a memory.